a dear friend of the show. You know him from Guardians TV. You've known him from Indians or Guardians TV for the past, I don't know, a couple of years. And we want to talk to him a little bit about what's going on. Of course, it is Rick Manning. Hello, Rick. How are you?
Hi, Rick.
Yep, Andy. I'm doing fine. How are you guys doing?
We are doing good. We're looking for some wins out of this team, but obviously, Rick, the big news today, obviously, Luis Ortiz has been suspended. Not so much about him, but what does it mean to the rotation? And, obviously it's going to create opportunity for somebody else.
Well, sure it is. I mean, Cantillo's back. He's going to make the start tonight. When things are going wrong, it seems like everything happens at once.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know about it just as much as you guys know. But they sent out that press release this morning as far as the investigation goes. So who knows? We're going to find out soon enough. But I don't know how long it's going to take. But it is going to have an impact on the rotation. He was supposed to start tonight. So that's not going to happen. And we'll just have to wait and see what he does. You're right. It's going to give somebody an opportunity to pitch. And that's right now is what they're going to have to look for. They're going to have to start looking for the future, the way they've been playing.
Rick Cantillo gets it tonight, as you mentioned. I thought he was really good pitching out of the bullpen this year, which was a strange role for him. Went down to Columbus, pitched a little bit, tried to stretch out a little bit. He comes up here. What are you expecting from Joey? And it almost feels like, Rick, okay, Joey, here you go. Here's your chance. And if it doesn't work for you.
Well, yeah, he's had a couple chances. And the thing of it is, he's got three really good pitches. He's got a good fastball, got a very good changeup, and a good curveball. To me, he just started falling in love with all the off-speed stuff. He started to forget about his fastball, especially when you're coming out of the bullpen. I mean, you've got to throw strikes. But he has three pretty darn good pitches that he can use. And this is an opportunity for him to really take advantage of the situation, because he's been here before, so he's not going to be intimidated by anything. He's come out of the bullpen. He's getting an opportunity to start, and we don't know how long that opportunity is going to last. But if he can come in and do something, he could certainly open up some eyes.
Rick, obviously, from a fan point of view, fans are kind of freaking out. 6-game losing streak.
Good.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good. That's what I want to hear. What your answer was. I mean, so how do you get out of it?
Well, first of all, you can't feel sorry for yourselves. And offensively, we've been atrocious. They're not swinging the bats. You got to score to win. And in the month of June, their starters got it together. They had a pretty good month, as far as keeping them in ball games. They just couldn't score, and it seems like they were always falling behind. And their MO last year was, let's score early, and then, you turn it over to the pitchers, and they've been able to do it. And the bullpen was outstanding last year, but it's totally different this year. But June was a good month for the starters, but the offense couldn't get anything going. I mean, we're, as a team, hitting about 225. They can hit with runners in scoring position. You're getting 4 or 5 hits a ball game, and you can't win games in the big leagues like that. They don't walk a whole lot. And they hit a lot of singles. So and when your team is not playing well, like the Guardians are, you look terrible when you can't score or you can't create runs. Their defense has been very bad. Yesterday was the first time in 11 games they had errors in 11 consecutive games. And I mean 4 in one game, 3 in another, a couple, and you can't give up any extra outs when you're trying to score, or you're not going to score many runs. And you got to go back to 2011 for that error streak, 11 straight games with errors. So it's a combination of everything. And the boys had better, they got to each worry about their own job and do their thing, and don't try and do too much. Easier said than done, but that's what they have to do.
Rick, there are 3 guys on the team in the lineup that I think, man, if you guys can just do what you did at some point in your career, just do that. You don't even have to be any better than that. This team's in a completely different spot. Nolan Jones is one of them. Lane Thomas is another who hit a home run last night, and David Fry is the other who hit a home run last night. What your prospect? What do you think their prospects are of just being what they've been in the past?
Well, first of all, 2 of those 3 guys, you got Fry and you got Thomas. They missed so much of the year.
Yep.
They're playing catch up, so they're trying to do more than they're capable of, and they're not caught up with it. I mean, it's tough when you miss a couple of months to start the year out, to come in and think you're going to fit right into the schedule. and it doesn't work that way. I think you need about 100 at-bats to get yourself feeling comfortable once the season starts, even coming out of spring training. It takes a while, especially with a lot of the cold weather and everything you play in Cleveland. But when you come back and you think you're going to get right in tune like you did last year, and just because you've hit left-handers well in your career doesn't mean you're going to do it every year. And those guys, they're paid to hit left-handed pitching, both of them. And they both hit them very well last year. But this is a different year. They haven't done it. And, we've tried. Yeah, we had Noel in the outfield. We're not getting production from right field, from center field, from behind the plate has been terrible as far as, offensive production. And you're looking at some really important spots, second base as well.
Rick,
there's just too many holes to plug.
Well, so there's been all kinds of talk about DeLauter, maybe Keifa somewhere down the road. I just take me inside, inside baseball, inside the front office. Like, when do they decide they really when's a good time that you're going to pull the trigger? And especially for DeLauter, it feels like he could be up as early as this weekend.
Why not?
Yeah, I agree.
What's it going to hurt? Why is it going to hurt? If he's playing in the minor leagues, he could be playing in the big leagues. I don't see any difference. So get him up here. Let's take a look and see what he is. It's not going to hurt. As long as he can stay in the lineup, I'd say bring him up right now.
Quit making sense.
Why do you think they're waiting?
I can't tell you that. You got to ask them, and they'll have their excuses. But you know what? Get them up here.
Rick,
that's how I feel.
I have a question. I've thrown this thought out several times, and you can either shred it or back me up, because I can't think of anybody better to answer this question than you. Could Stephen Kwan be your everyday center fielder? And would that be a good idea?
You know what? I would rather see him stay in left than go to center field, because it's not that he can play center. It'll wear him down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's
had some leg things.
You need a center fielder. I mean, I'll tell you what, when Toronto came to town and I watched Straw play center field, you just forget how easy he made it look.
Yeah.
And we need a center fielder. They've been putting Martinez out there, who's an infielder. You got to make decisions on some of these guys and leave them at one position. We platoon, and they don't call it platoon. But if you're not playing every day, you're a platoon player.
Right.
We need some everyday players. You got to plug guys into spots where they're comfortable. For me, I think that Martinez is more comfortable at second base every day. So give him a chance to play there every day. Let's see him grow up as an everyday player at second base. He deserves the opportunity if he's playing up here. But they like to move guys around, and I'd rather keep Kwani, to get to your question. I'd rather keep him in left field and put him in center, because I don't know if he'd be a good center fielder, to be honest with you. He's a tremendous left fielder.
Who do you like in center? Would it be DeLauter? Who might it be?
No, you can't. With his issues of getting hurt, you got to cover too much ground. You need somebody that can run and go get him.
Okay.
I mean, Martinez is not bad out there, but he's basically an infielder. I'd rather see Martinez try and play every day. Because, look, I don't think that Thomas is going to stay here. He's a free agent at the end of the year, and he hasn't done much for his cause to re-sign him because of the time that he's missed. So you got to find somebody to play center field.
Rick, when should you look at the standings? I mean, it's hard not to look at them right now. But we've been through this so many times. I'll look at the standings. I'll be like, oh my God, they're 11 back.
12 and a half now.
Yeah. Thanks for waking me up again for 2 days later. But at what point? And then with the wild card, you're like, 3. And then you wonder, well, okay, what should the front off? But they've got to infuse some. But as a fan, tell me, when should I really be looking at the standings?
Right now, you better be looking to the future and what you're going to do. You're still in the wild card hunt, and you still have plenty of time to get yourself back in there. You just got to start looking for what you're going to do for we see Carlos Santana playing first base all the time. I don't think he's going to be back next year and play there. So why don't you, if Manzardo is going to be your first baseman, or you have somebody that you want to look at, play him out there, get him at bats, and let's see if he can do it. You got to find out about this ball club to move forward if you're going to evaluate it. we've done it all spring. And they tell you they want to look at their organization. Well, we've had a good look, and you may need some other players. You know, they've got some work to do. Because when you look at it, I mean, you look at our bench late in the game when you're coming off it, there's not many pinch hitters you can bring off the bench, especially when you have young guys on your team that haven't even know the pitching in the big leagues yet.
David Fry was. Go ahead, Rick. I'm sorry.
No, I was just thinking, you've got to get some veteran players around. Help.
David Fry was so good early last year, Rick, and then fell off a little bit. Clearly, the arm injury probably had something to do with that. He's not able to play a position. He hasn't found his stroke yet. He hit a home run last night. How do you handle him if he's not hitting and all he can do is DH for you? I know he has options left. You don't want to send him down to find his swing. What would you do?
Well, you know what? He probably should have stayed down there for a little bit longer to get that swing going, probably. You know, but the way we were going and, we weren't scoring runs, they probably felt they needed him here more, instead of getting them going. And they didn't think he would struggle like he has. But it's tough to play catch up. And you're right. He's only a DH. And right now, so is Manzardo. He's only a DH. But he's taking at bats away from him. So it's a tough way to figure it out. It really is.
And the tough part goes back to what you said about platooning guys. You would love to just have, like Mike Hargrove always said, starters are starters for a reason. Mike had guys who should be starting, Right. And I don't know if Stephen Vogt has guys who should be starting.
Well, I agree. You're an everyday player for a reason. And, there's guys that are on the bench. And it used to be where you had guys that have played a while and they know pitching, and they know themselves. They know how to come off the bench and pinch hit. When you've got kids up there, you're just hoping and praying that they get a hit. And it's just tough to do. I mean, I think we need more everyday players instead of the guys floating around the field like they play a bunch of different positions.
Rick, Jose named starter yesterday, all-star team. I mean, he is the bright spot.
There's the one.
Yeah, on this team and sometimes I look and I'm like, man, I hope fans don't take him for granted.
Oh, well, you can't take him for granted, but he's the one guy. Him and Quan are the two guys you can actually count on, as far as being out there. And Jose's the best. And he's getting tired now. He's in for 18 now? So he's tired. A day off for Jose is a DH role for one day.
It's true.
When they give him a day off, he never gets time off. And hey, it's wearing down. He's 33 years old and he still plays the game as well as he did. But, it catches up to you after a while. And when you keep getting beat up and you're not scoring, it's got to wear him down as well. And now he's got to go to an all-star game. He's going to start. And he's going to, he'll never get time off.
It's a good point. I didn't think about it that way. All right, last question for you. There's a part of me that I know, like everything you've said, I totally agree with all of you on all of that. And I don't want to hop on the excuse train, but they have played teams that have been in first place here, and they're playing teams that are. So I think if you're Vogt, how are you trying to keep that clubhouse going in the right direction? You could say, hey, look, we've gone up against some pretty good pitching. Jeff kills me when I say this to him, just so you know that. And you're also playing against teams.
Come on, Rick.
You're also playing against teams that are in first place right now. We just got to weather the storm? What are you saying if you're the manager?
Yes, because everybody plays the good teams throughout the course of the year. Everybody's going to get a chance to play them all the same. It doesn't matter. They are going through a tough part of the schedule and have been. And this 9 games that we started with back home, you got to, and you're playing all first place teams. Well, it's not going to get any easier. We come home, we got 3 with Detroit, and then we go out right back on the road Sunday, and we got Houston, another first place team. So you know what? You got to play them. You got to get through it. Let's see what you're made of.
Fair enough.
If you're going to be a playoff game, look at these. The Guardians were in the ALCS last year, and now you're 12.5 back. So hey, there's really no excuses. You got to go out and you got to play everybody. You're going to have your ups, you're going to have your downs, but they better figure it out in a hurry if they want to stay in contention for the wild card.
Rick, as always, we love talking to you and making us a little bit smarter about the game every time we talk to you. Thank you, Rick.
Are you guys going to fight after? Did I settle any arguments?
No, not at all. We still
fired some up. Thank you.
Rick, we're not doing the pregame show anymore. We got to live with each other for 20 hours a week. You can ask our other buddy that we did the pregame show. Then we'll see if we can get a fight with him. You see him every night.
Yeah.
So
That's right. We'll get it started up again.
all right. Tell Matt we're coming after him then. Thanks.
Yeah, I will. Hey, guys, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Rick.
Thank you, Rick. We appreciate you. All right. Rick Manning, Guardians TV.